Hey guys, Leanne here on Grady's Mom, here to do a quick cooking video for a traditional stuffed pepper recipe. And once again, I say it all the time, everybody does things differently. I always like to see different versions of recipes that I already make, because sometimes you learn something new or you just kind of find a different way to try out a recipe that you already make. So this is a very traditional dish. I grew up eating it a lot. Especially growing up in an Italian family. So for this recipe, I'm going to show you everything you're going to need. I have about a pound of ground beef here. You could also use ground turkey, which my mom does a lot. My mom does this different. She does it with turkey and quinoa. I do it with rice and beef, which is a little bit more of the traditional way. So you're going to need about a pound of beef. You're going to need some peppers, obviously. I have 9 peppers here, but I'm probably only going to use whatever will fit in this dish or whatever the filling makes. So most likely it'll be probably 6, maybe 7, depending on how much I can, how many peppers I can fill up. You're going to need a big baking dish. I know I'll get questions on these. These are by the Opal House brand. Let me show you. The Opal House brand at Target. I actually realized pretty recently that I only had 2 9x13 baking dishes completely, like totally in my whole entire kitchen collection. I only had 2. And if you guys know me and you've been following my channel for a while, that's a little surprising because I cook a lot, and I have found there are times, especially lately, where I go to get a 9x13 pan and I can't because it's either being used, maybe it's in the fridge with leftovers. So I went to Target and grabbed this set for $19.99. It's a matching set. And it's like, stoneware. So I got the large one and it came with the small one. And I actually thought $19.99 was a great deal. So that's where I got these pretty recently at Target. So you can probably find them. They had a few other prints as well. So back to the recipe, a pound of ground beef. Again, the peppers, probably going to end up being like 6 or 7 of them. You're going to need about a pound of white rice. This is actually the Innovations brand sticky white rice. You can use any white rice you like, any brand, instant, or the kind that you boil. You can use wild rice. You can use brown rice. You can also do quinoa like my mom, whatever you prefer. So I've got the white rice. I have some garlic paste, but you can also use fresh garlic or chopped garlic or minced garlic. I just have this paste to use up, so I'm going to use that. Parmesan cheese, mozzarella cheese, and then this is my homemade marinara sauce. I have a recipe video that I did, which I'll link in the description box, but obviously you can use jarred or canned tomato sauce as well. I've done it that way many times and it's just fine. I just so happen to have some frozen that I thawed out overnight, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. And then a little cooking spray just to spray the bottom of the dish. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my beef browning. I'm going to get my peppers prepped and hollowed out and ready to take in all the filling. So I'm going to go ahead first and get my beef going. Alright guys, so I took 6 of the largest of the 9, so I don't want to crowd the pan too much. So I'm just going to do 6, and as you can see I hollowed them out the best I could. So I've got my trash here, and then I've got my salvage pieces here, because obviously I'm not going to throw this out. Look at that, it's perfectly good. So I'm going to take what I can salvage, put it in a little Ziploc bag, and then I'll have this to use to chop up for salads or omelets or quiche or something. This is trash. These are ready to be stuffed, so we're going to move along to the filling now. Alright guys, so I have my ground beef that I browned up. I did drain the fat, there wasn't very much. I'm going to go ahead now and add some garlic paste. I'm going to add about a tablespoon. This is very, very potent. So I'm going to add about a tablespoon of that. I'm also going to add in my rice as well. And obviously, I think I mentioned earlier, you want the rice to be cooked. So I'm going to go ahead and get that all in. Then I'm going to go ahead and add a little splash of sauce just to loosen everything up. Maybe a little bit more. It's about good. I did add a little salt and pepper to the beef. So I'm just going to mix this all together. I'm Make sure everything's broken up. If there's any like clumps of rice or clumps of beef, you want to try and break it up as best you can. And just stir it all up. I could just eat the filling. I also really love stuffed pepper soup. So if you've never had that, you should try that. I might do a recipe video on that later in the fall, because I think I'm going to do a big batch because that particular soup actually freezes really well. So you just want to mix everything up really well. I think I'm just going to add a little bit more sauce. It's got to kind of use your judgment. And then just mix that in, because you want the filling to be nice and moist. You want you don't want a dry filling. You want it to be nice and moist. Smells really good. Next, I'm going to add my Parmesan cheese. I stuck it back in the fridge while the beef was browning. So I'm going to add a little bit of Parm cheese. To the bowl. I don't know, it looks like maybe a quarter cup or so. And just kind of stir that in. Smells really good. Okay, so that looks good. Now we're going to go ahead and get the peppers stuffed. Alright, so I have my dish. I sprayed it with a little cooking spray. And first what I'm going to do is put a little bit of the sauce in the bottom of the pepper. Just a little bit. And then I'm going to get my, move the bowl over, my filling in, like that. I don't know why, but I find these so fun to make. I'm going to get my filling in. Then I'm going to add some sauce on top. You definitely want sauce, guys, because you want, these will dry out if they don't have enough sauce. So you're going to put the sauce in. Decent amount. And then I'm going to do some mozzarella cheese. A little more. And then some Parmesan cheese. And these will get, the cheese will get nice and bubbly and crispy. And then we're just going to do the same thing. A little sauce on the bottom. And the filling. And push it down a little bit. Yum. Sauce. And the sauce will kind of seep down into the pepper. Mozzarella cheese. Parm cheese. And then we're going to keep going. Alright guys, so I actually had enough filling to do a 7th pepper, so I just grabbed one of the smaller ones and stuffed that, so it was a perfect amount for 7, and it's all topped. And what I'm going to do lastly is just use the rest of the sauce to put on top of the cheese. The cheese will still get nice and melty, but the main thing with these stuffed peppers is they dry out very easily, and nobody wants a dried out stuffed pepper. So you want sauce. You want them to be saucy. So I'm just going to put a little bit of sauce on each one, and then these are going to go into the oven for about an hour. And another thing I'm gonna do is just drizzle the entire pan lightly with a little bit of olive oil as well. It's just what my grandma and my mom did, so I just tend to do things the way they did. So they're all saucy and cheesy. You just make sure you guys can see that. And then I'm gonna take my just EVOO and just drizzle. It's okay too if it gets like on the side of the pepper. And these are ready to go. So I think what I'll do is I'm gonna cover them for the first half hour, and then the last half hour I'll take the foil off, and I'll show you guys, of course, the end result. But this was really easy, as you guys saw, and I absolutely love these. They also freeze really well, guys, so you could make if I had been more prepared, because I wasn't planning on filming this, I would have made a double batch of these and then froze a whole tray. I don't know, they're just really good. I love these. So I'm gonna go ahead now, get them in the oven, and I'll show you what they look like when they come out. Alright guys, so they just came out of the oven. I actually put the broiler on for the last few minutes to get the cheese nice and browned and bubbly. So this is what they look like when they came out, and I'm gonna show you guys plated up with our dinner. Alright guys, so here is how the stuffed peppers came out. I'm serving it with some tossed chopped salad and some garlic bread. I have some more garlic bread over here. So this is what it looks like, final result. Of course, as always, I'll type up all the ingredients and instructions down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this cooking video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.